So when we went to the movies, oh my God, this made me so fucking mad.
This already sounds bad.
Oh, it is bad. Okay, so I'm a big fan of the Jurassic Park and World series. I have been since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember going to see like the first one in the theater,
Right.
and I've actually seen it a few times in the theater because
Yeah.
I loved it so much. So I just love it so much.
amazing.
And so I've been waiting. Probably what's like a year since the last one came out.
Yeah.
And now it's Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Right.
So Vinny and I go to the movies.
Right.
Was last week or so? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like last week or
Sounds
something.
right. Checks out.
Checks out.
Stuart checks out there.
And so we pay our $12 a ticket.
Excuse me. Sorry.
And we get our popcorn and drinks. So the night's costing us some money.
And then we walked to the seat.
And we
looked for a seat.
Okay, we were in our seats first, so that's a good point to bring up. And
your Sav chairs.
There's the movie's still popular even now, so there's quite a bit of people in the theater,
Right.
even though it's been out for a while. And this lady, her friend, and their 2 kids sit in the row behind us. So the last kid would have sat behind me, and then they would have been,
Right.
down the row. So, we didn't think anything of it. Everybody's talking, during the previews and whatever. So when the sign comes on to tell you to shut up, that's when you start.
Is that how the movie starts?
Yeah, that's when you start buttoning down
Shut
your
up.
face.
Get some popcorn.
Yeah. Just turn your phone off and shut up and all that good stuff.
Which they should be fucking doing anyway.
Right. So the movie starts, and the kid that's sitting behind me is talking.
Right.
And the mom doesn't tell the child to, shush, you're in the movie.
God.
Let's use our manners. Nope. She starts asking the kid questions. So, spoiler alert, there's dinosaurs in this movie. And she starts asking the child in the theater,
Wow.
what kind of dinosaur is that, honey?
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you, and I am getting mad.
Like, we're pissed.
Yeah,
I would be
because
too.
I can't hear the movie because
Yeah.
in one ear I have a speaker, with the movie, but in my other ear I have mom and dumb child. Dumb mom.
And it wasn't just for like the first 10 minutes
No.
of the movie.
Oh
Like,
my God.
this just continued.
Yeah. So then it was, the dinosaur was gonna die and blah, blah, blah. And Vance, finally, he's like, let's move. I'm done. So we left our nice seats that we were in. We get up and he goes.
What did you say?
He said something to the
Turned
parent.
around and I looked at the lady and I said, I hope your kids have nightmares about being eaten by dinosaurs.
And we got up and moved a couple rows up because there's a lot of dinosaur deaths in the movie, and it was kind of scary for his age, I think, because he was a younger kid.
Yeah.
So obviously he's probably going to make comments and talk through the movie.
Right.
But for his mom to ask him questions and have full conversations with her friend and their kids, it's like, you dumb bitch. You just spent $40 on
Jesus.
movie tickets plus popcorn and drink. And we all know that concession stand's expensive.
Oh my
it's
God.
good.
Nachos are like $10.
Yeah, and they're good, but
Fucking delicious.
They're not good.
They are good.
Vinny and I go to the movies all the time.
Pretzel bites?
That's like
Pretzel
our
bites
thing.
are okay.
And we really enjoy it, and I've been looking forward to this fucking movie. And this movie made me sad anyway, so I was already in a bad mood because all these dinosaur deaths, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't even want to be here anymore. Like, I wanted to leave.
My movie-going experience was completely
It
shattered.
was. I was so mad at that movie, and
I'm calling Marcus.
we leave, and she gives us a nasty look because where we moved to, we had to cross by the aisle where they were sitting to leave,
I just
and
smiled.
so we got the you just told my kid I hope he has bad dreams look. Well, not my little special angel, not my special angel.
See, I if it's like a kids movie and there's a bunch of kids
really,
around.
yeah, that's different.
Whatever.
This wasn't Finding Nemo. This
No.
was watch the
And
brontosaurus
then-
on the end of the dock die.
It's also, if you know me, you know that I'm kind of a public jerk. we were eating at Olive Garden one time.
On
And
purpose.
This lady, she's taking a family selfie, right? She's got all of her husband and her kid. And she's got the phone, and I'm right behind her. Right, like I'm behind the family. And I took a bunch of spinach that I had on my dinner and put it in my teeth and gave her a thumbs up with a great big spinachy smile. And it was so
smile.
funny because like she didn't know. And then I could see like She's going through her phone. All of a sudden, she stops. And slowly, she looks up at me. And I mean, I thought she was going to murder me.
We just kept eating our food.
It was pretty great.
My minestrone is really good. How about yours? Like, that's it?
Chicken nope. So anyway, that's my irritation story. Like, if you go to a theater,
Excuse me.
shut the fuck up and don't have full conversations when people have paid money. And we could not have been the only one, because they were not whispering like, oh, they're whispering in my ear, I can hear them. No, they were talking at the volume I am at this moment in time. Do you know what kind of dinosaur that is, honey? And what is that kind? That's right. That's a brontosaurus.
When I told her I hoped her kid had bad dreams, you could hear people around going,
yeah, people were like, because we were obviously not the only ones affected. Like, oh, so don't go to a movie and sit near me and fucking talk.
Or if you're in a room where people are listening to the Don't Look Under the Bed podcast, be courteous.
Yeah.
Listen to the podcast.
Could you imagine that lady in the A Quiet Place movie?
Oh, man.
Don't talk about that movie.
You didn't like it?
No. Here's the thing.
Oh, let's
Let's
get
see
into
if you
this.
don't like what I don't like.
7 years... No, because I didn't watch it. Because of
Oh.
jealousy. And here's why.
Oh.
And you can ask 3 or 4 of my friends. You can ask...
Which is all of his friends.
And one of them's my shadow.
Yeah, I'm like Peter Pan.
Love Peter Pan.
The peanut butter, yeah.
We have some upstairs.
I came up with that idea for a movie a long time ago, and I told you can ask Matt. He was when it came out. I was like, dude, and he goes, "Oh, that was your movie." The movie I had an idea was a guy would lose his. It's like the apocalyptic type movie, but it was nobody could speak above ground because there would be this big monster that would come and get you, but it was like a shadowy figure.
Oh, shitty.
And I told somebody about it the night before it released, or before it got what do they call that, ads, before it was
Trailer.
advertised.
A teaser.
And I sent her a text and I said, see what I mean?
What did you
I
do?
should, and she's like, you should have made the movie. I'm like, oh God,
You should have called John Krasinski.
I mean, the movie looks amazing.
It was. I like.
Do you want to know what I don't like about it?
Don't
Okay,
spoil.
well, don't spoil- yeah.
I
it for
won't.
anybody.
I won't. But I recommend watching the movie. I don't
cried.
recommend going to the theater and watching
Yeah.
the movie because
I don't think it's in the theater.
there are
'Cause it's quiet.
so many places in that movie that are just completely dead silent.
which is how it was supposed to be
Right,
Yeah,
by
it was
me.
but the problem is
wonderful.
there was an old guy like 4 seats down that was falling asleep.
Oh, this
You could
fucking
hear
guy.
him snore.
He
People
kept falling asleep,
every single like popcorn crunch.
including
burp.
us. Including us. 'Cause
Yeah.
we had popcorn and
That's
pop.
to be expected a little.
Yeah,
Not the
but
sleeping.
You can hear
but-
like.
It did take away from the movie a
Hung.
little bit.
I bet.
I say wait till it comes out
Like
on
Peter
Netflix.
Griffin.
Put your little buttholes to bed.
Wait,
What about the rest
what?
of your body?
Yeah.
Little
You just put it in like a
ankle
little box and then shut it and then
It's a
put it
box.
away.
Night.
biters. It's a box of buttholes.
Good night, sweet prince.
He just kissed his leather Cheerio.
Balloon
His donut
knot.
hole.
Donut steak.
Donut steak. What is it called? Donut hole? That's not right.
Oh,
Oh, you guys again.
where did it? Come on.
Sneaky Pete's.
I
How
know.
you been?
I know. I smelled something.
Every week, you
I
guys
smell
come in
a
here.
listeners.
You guys smell like roses. Burn them.
Burn 'em.
Burn them.
Welcome to the Don't Look Under the Bed podcast, the podcast for all things horror and comedy. I am one of your vivacious hosts, Dan Wonder, and next to me is my sister,
Natalie Rose.
and next to her is,
I am Vinny Rose.
and across from him is,
Nicholas Myers.
and he's back for the 3rd episode.
Nicholas Meyer.
Thanks for coming again, Nick. This is the Don't Look Under the Bed podcast, and today we will be doing part 3 of part 20 of our
It seems like.
of our.
Nah, we should wrap it up on this one, guys.
No, and
Hey, guys, wrap it up.
I feel like this ending is going to be good because this is the chunky stuff. This is the stuff everybody wants.
This is the chili.
This is the 3rd part.
This is the meat and potatoes of the story.
Oh.
unless you're a vegetarian, and which is just potatoes and potatoes.
Shut up.
This is
Aw.
the soy patties and potatoes.
Hey, soy patties are good.
Yeah, actually, they're not
They're
bad.
tasty.
They're not bad.
But it is the 3rd episode of the Witches podcast. But before we start that, I have another email.
I was gonna say herpes.
Oh no! I'm glad I
That's
don't
my
have.
brother. That's my brother.
Yeah, I'm
Too
glad.
soon.
Valtrexasaur. The email.
That dinosaur definitely was not in Jurassic World.
That lady probably would have asked a kid about it. What kind is that pumpkin?
That's the bumpy one. The email comes. Are you guys okay? The email comes from Darehole at yahoo.com. I'm assuming his name's Daryl, but he likes Darehole. And he writes,
Why would you like Darehole?
Why would you not?
why would you interrupt my email?
Go ahead.
I love you.
Feisty.
Dear D-Lub.
I'm sorry.
Son of a bitch. Dear D-Lub. This is a 3-part question, or this is 3 questions in a row.
3 questions for 3 episodes.
This guy had
Oh.
some time on his hands.
No shit. Darehole.
Is it a long, wordy email?
No, it's not. It's
Good.
it's literally just 3 questions in a row.
Okay.
The first question, he says, Dear D-Lub, would you rather know how you die or when you die? So, Vinny, how or when?
I'm going to go with how.
And how, why? I mean, why would you want to know how? Because that's an interesting question to me.
I like to live, and I think that if you know when, that's
I like
that's
life.
definite,
I'm gonna live
right? Like,
until I die.
That's a good
if
thing.
you know when you're gonna die, like you're gonna die at this time, no matter what you do. But if you know how you're gonna die, like say, I know that I'm gonna drown. Well, I'll stay away from water.
Yeah, but
But
and
it's
I would
going to be inevitable.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
He didn't say that.
You can.
That's not
you
part
might
of
even
this.
draw like
What if you
drinking a
just
glass of water.
Draw a nice bath one night.
Right,
Fall
yeah.
asleep and
Have you seen me? I don't exactly fit in a bathtub.
Oh, the guy who is in your movie theater is probably going to fall asleep in the bathtub while watching The Quiet Place.
He might be.
Natalie, how or when?
I'd say when.
Really?
Yeah, because I'd live some shit up if I knew that. I mean, they say live every day like it's your last, but, financially you can't unless you're rich. So, I'm like, all right, I would probably really fuck off a lot of things
Yeah.
if that was the case, and some shit would not get paid.
I'm just going to steal your answer. That's the same thing I would do. I would know when, not how. I wouldn't care.
Fucking copycat.
Because you're not. Because to me, I don't really care. I mean, I care how I die.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Given in
totally,
this,
totally.
Given the circumstance, though, I'd just rather know when. So that way I
Yeah.
can do everything I could. And she's right. And I'm stealing her answer. So, Nick?
Circle gets a square again.
I'm going to follow in Vinny's footsteps and go with how.
It's 2 for 2, folks.
Because,
2 for 2.
I mean, my thinking on that is if it's not cool, can I change it?
Oh.
Well, we're going to
If
get
it's
to
not
that.
a really cool way to go out.
But can you kill yourself before it happens?
No, it's not inevitable that way. It's not part of this.
He didn't
Stop
say
trying
that
to-
either.
Oh, somebody got really mad over there. It's not part of this.
Dare
No.
hole, we need more specifics next
Yeah.
time you email
Yeah,
us,
dare
please.
hole.
Dare hole.
Thank
you, though.
But the way that he phrased that actually comes into another part of this question. But before we do that, though, excuse me,
Can I change my answer?
okay.
I want to know when.
You want to know when?
Yep.
You fucking copycat.
With me together.
And then he also writes, would you rather be responsible for the death of a child or 3 adults? I think everybody is pretty much on board with this one.
I don't like kids, but I would not.
I'll field this one first if you want.
Go ahead.
So,
I'm nervous.
Ooh, hit my microphone.
no, it's going to be the adults, and I'll tell you why. Because hopefully if the kid sees me kill 3 assholes, he's not going to grow up to be an asshole.
But
Like, you still have a
that's
chance.
not part of it. You can't just keep adding stuff.
You're ruining everything.
You're ruining everything.
Vinny wants to
You
kill
see my
3
hopes and
adults
dreams
to
up
set
there?
an example.
There's Dan shooting
So you would
down.
do child then?
No.
For really?
No, I would kill 3 adults
3
easy
adults.
before 1 kid.
Okay. Natalie?
Who's the kid?
It doesn't matter. You can't add
The kid
shit.
from the Jurassic World movie.
No, it was his mom. Yeah, his 3 adults, because that'd be 2 right there.
It would be her, then you're
His
like,
mom, her
fuck
friend,
it.
and his dad.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
The
What did I do?
procreators.
Well, you went to Olive Garden and you snapped a picture in
You
front
let
of
her out of
family.
the house.
Yeah. I would probably do, I'm going to be controversial.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go child.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Because...
I don't know. I think I know why.
Why?
Because the child could grow up to be evil.
Yep. And
I've
3
seen
adults.
that movie. What's
Actually,
that
you know what?
movie?
I can't add
Yeah,
that
what
either.
movie is
I
that?
can't add that.
It's
Nope.
a movie.
You know, I'll go
Yes.
3 adults then, for the sake of the argument.
I'll put in 3 adults and I'll raise you.
I'll give it 3 adults
I'll raise you a
for you,
moose.
kid. This kid is going to grow up to be an asshole. If it was, I'd probably do 3 adults. A kid can grow up to do many things. If those adults, see, we can't add shit though.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just gonna go 3 adults, just to not be
Well,
Hitler.
because the
Not
way
be Hitler.
society is, you can pretty much assume that at least 2 of the 3 are assholes.
Yeah. Easily.
I put
especially
my
now.
buttholes away when I sleep at night, so
And even without adding stuff,
They go in a cigar box.
if you kill the adults,
velveteen touch.
if you kill the adults, they can't spread their assholism to said child
Yeah.
who's still innocent.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't go kid. I'm gonna go through 3 adults. Nick,
Thank you.
I mean,
Nick, did you find that movie?
I did not find the movie. I just searched movie where child grows up to be evil, and the
talking about The
first
Omen?
thing is top 25
Full
evil
House.
child.
It was the movie like we were
Cut
just talking
it
about
out.
where they had to decide whether they were going to kill the kid.
Was it Omen?
no, but
No,
no, because Omen was
it's
about
something
No,
like
'cause I've never
they
seen that.
knew the child was going to grow up to be like evil. So
Send in your
that was,
corrections
like,
to
the
Don't
main
Look Into That
conflict.
podcast.
Yeah, if anybody
I don't
can
know,
think of that movie.
Oh my god.
I'll
so
search
good.
for it while we're
Podcast@gmail.com.
talking.
Yeah, it's
While
gonna-
Nick's
it's
giving
gonna
his
bother me.
answer.
But anyway, I'm gonna go with 3 adults. Children are our future, and I'm not gonna deprive any child of that.
Let them teach and let them lead the way.
But yeah, I mean,
Show
if I
'em
can
the
pick and choose which adults to off,
Oh.
I would be on board with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we could have ads to this, then yeah, I would. It's obviously dependent on what's going on, but to me, it'd have to be 3 adults. I mean, if you kill a child, you're just a piece of shit.
We're all in agreement.
Even
so
people in prison for mass murder who have like a cellmate that kills a child, they're like, "You're a disgusting person."
Yeah,
Yeah.
they fucking kill
Speaking
him.
of-
I killed 25 people, and you're the worst.
Speaking of mass murder, between the 4 of us, theoretically, we killed 12 adults.
Yeah.
Really?
Decrease
Yeah.
in the population. Yeah, 3, 6, 9, 12. We
Oh,
killed
okay.
3, 3, 3, 3.
3. He also writes, okay, he just put, how do you want to die? But the question that usually gets asked is, if you had one way to go out, how would you go?
Because I already know when I'm going to die. I'm going to live to be 80 years old and get shot by a jealous husband.
Oh my god.
Your wife is sitting right there.
He can be jealous and I don't have to do anything just because I'm so dapper.
He touched my girlfriend's fucking shopping cart. He bumped it at Walmart and he just blasts you.
No, honestly, man,
Yeah, bro.
I want to go in my sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my dad's number one fear is going out in his sleep because he wants to be
Really?
able to say say his goodbyes and stuff like that.
Aw.
Like, which I get that
Now
perspective
mine's-
of it, but most people are like, yeah, out in my sleep, that'd be perfect. Like,
Oh my god.
and that's not my choice, but
Yeah, if I'm gonna
probably top 5.
top 5. Natalie, what's yours?
Um,
Any way you can go out,
I would want to go out.
guns blazing. Yeah, like dead presidents.
Hell yeah. I would say maybe saving someone or an animal, like a endangered species, like
That's a good one. I've never heard
stopping
that.
a poacher or something. I think that's more me, like more of an animal, like helping.
Not a child.
Like that,
then.
that lion that just got killed. That was like in the same way that
By the
Cecil
dentist?
did. No, it was
Oh.
another one in the same fashion. And then there was that giraffe that just got killed.
Who the
and I'm
fuck
like,
kills a giraffe?
This dumb bitch.
They
Toys
don't-
R Us.
They don't.
This dumb bitch from the U.S. just did it.
Jeffy.
I would like to go out saving an animal that
That's a
that
good.
needs to be
That's a
saved.
good. I've never like.
Who knew I had a heart?
Mine's fucked up.
Who knew I had a heart?
Mine's
Not me.
really fucked up.
What is it? High-speed masturbation accident.
That's my brother.
No, I would. All right, so I would. Okay.
Some kind of
you guys gave.
asphyxiation.
Yeah, no, you guys. Well, actually, you know what, Nick? You go first because I need to go last because mine's really fucked up.
Lord, they all thought about this before.
So I had this weird, like, I wouldn't so much call it a fantasy, but just kind of this weird thing of like when I get old to the point where like dementia or
Yeah, the oldness
all
sets
those,
in.
yeah, to where the
The
oldness.
oldness.
sets in. I'm just gonna get in a wheelchair and have someone drop me off the top of a cliff and just
Wow.
roll myself right off of there
Damn.
and just go out free falling and
Free falling.
Yep.
Jing, chicka, jing, jing, jing. Okay.
That's crazy.
See,
I like it.
you guys have
He's
really.
like, I'm Thelma and by myself.
Fell in by
I mean, I'm
myself.
not much of an adrenaline junkie, so I might as well just like get it out of the way
Oh, yeah.
when I get there.
I like
Just be
it.
I
oh,
can
okay.
be, just not on roller coasters.
Or
Just-
motorcycles.
Yeah, that's
I-
about
no,
the extent of my
shut your
adrenaline
mouth.
as roller
Shut your
coasters.
goddamn
Do you want
mouth.
to talk about that?
No,
for a
no, we
minute?
don't. So my
We
answer
don't
is
have
no. My
that.
answer is no.
We'll
My
save
answer is
that.
no. My answer is
We'll save that.
so.
Dan rode on the back of my motorcycle.
Scream like a bitch.
So with fun,
No. No.
screaming for excitement.
Slow down, you're going to kill us. Did not sound like you're having a lot of fun.
So my answer is fucked.
Fucked.
It's fucked, Bobs. So I would pack. This is terrible now. In case y'all get good answers, I would pack myself full of wrapped candy
I'm a piñata.
and then jump off the building of a schoolyard
Oh my god.
so kids can get candy after I burst open.
That's gotta be a really tall school, and I can't think of any schools in the area
Maybe
where
Central.
They're like, oh my
explode
god,
upon
a Milky
impact.
Way. Oh my god, Mike and Ike's.
Oh my god, he just killed himself, candy.
Yeah. An O. Henry bar. I haven't had these
These
forever.
here it-
chocolates are delicious.
Here at Don't Look Under the Bed podcast, we respect everybody and their decisions and answers, but that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I liked it because I like candy.
I don't want to eat candy that's been inside your brother.
It's wrapped. You don't have to eat it.
Is it in your clothes?
No, it's like,
Oh, it's your person?
It's
Oh,
me.
I don't like that no more.
but it's like I'm
No.
hollowed out though.
Yeah, I mean,
In
if
a
you
way.
just die and you got a Milky Way in your pocket, like, bro,
It's all melted
Somebody's
and
not
bloody.
going to eat that. I will.
Oh, God.
Excuse me.
So, thank you, Daryl, for the
Yeah.
questions. That was an
That was
amazing
fun.
trip down Adventure Lane.
yeah, that was
Natalie.
fun, Darehole. Email us back.
Yeah,
Yeah, dare hole.
or anybody. Emails.
Anybody, you got something to say? Say it.
Yeah.
Darehole leak.
Want to fight about it?
Want to fight about it? Meet you outside.
So,
Bring my
Outside, How about
witches.
that?
I'll bring my witches.
Speak,
what?
Speaking of witches, good
What?
segue, Nats.
That was not great.
Oh,
We're going from last couple weeks. We spent some time in Europe,
Germany.
in Germany.
Germany.
Yeah. Now we're going to America. Welcome.
America.
Land of the
Fuck
free,
yeah.
home of the brave. So, we're gonna go over today's witch trials in the America, and this is how we do it. These colors don't run.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. So we have the famous Salem witch trials. but
Yes.
we're gonna start with some that actually happened prior to that. So we're gonna dig in and then get into those.
Mm.
So the very first known documented witch trial in America
Yeah.
was from this girl named Alice Young. And she was hanged for being an accused witch. Not much is known other than that or why she was accused, other than that there was an influenza outbreak.
Yeah.
And she got blamed for it.
Oh my God.
That was one of the speculations, but
So it
there
wasn't-
wasn't a lot of documentation.
It wasn't diphtheria.
It may have been. It doesn't say it wasn't.
We've used that every episode.
I'm going to
Loved it.
continue to do
Dip,
it.
dip, 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 dip.
She's
Yeah.
not all right.
Nobody burn me at the stake.
Yeah, so she was our first girl, so sorry, Alice. And then we go to Massachusetts Bay Colony,
Yeah.
and we have, this is in 1648, we have Margaret Jones. She's a midwife, and midwives were often accused even in Europe because of the fact that they practiced medicine
Yeah.
and that they were women,
Wow.
and you couldn't use your brain. So she was accused of witchcraft, and she hanged in 1648. So as the witches' craze and hysteria was dying down in Europe, it was gaining speed in the U.S.
Right.
Bring it on, U.S. And a lot of it was in Connecticut, from what I've read. There was quite a few, but I just grabbed some bits and pieces here and there. So back to Hartford, Connecticut in 1662, this couple named John and Bethia Kelly, they had a child that unexpectedly died after coming home from the neighbor's house. And the neighbor was Goodwife Ayers. The parents were testified that their daughter Elizabeth was with a neighbor, Ayers, and the night after she came home, the child began to yell and scream, "Father, Father, help me, help me. Goodwife Ayers is upon me. She chokes me. She kneels on my belly. She will break my bowels. She pinches me. She will make me black and blue." So the parents saying that before the child died that she started screaming this.
Wow.
I'm sure she did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elizabeth died, and with the hysteria, or which hysteria then took over
Wow.
the town. So it was the finger pointings a starting. Right after Elizabeth died, a girl named Anne Cole became afflicted and started to shout blasphemy.
COLE.
Yeah. ANNC.
In case you want to look her up on Facebook.
Yeah. You can find her from Hartford, Connecticut, around 1662. I don't know what school she went to.
It really, if you think about it, the East Coast
Yeah.
got hit with that. Like, you don't hear about a lot of that stuff in the Midwest or the West Coast. A lot of it was from the East Coast, Massachusetts, Connecticut, things like that. Were there any in New York?
There was, actually, and I think it was... I might have something on that. I think I wrote some down on New York, but...
Okay. I'm just wondering because it's much more popular.
There was one in New York that I read, and it was a big one.
It's just like the East Coast just had so much of this.
It was after Salem.
It's like the Midwest, and like you don't hear about the shit in Canada. You know what I mean?
That's because they're really friendly up there.
They don't burn their witches. They just
don't.
they go, sorry.
Sorry, Peter. Go back to the trailer park. She blamed her neighbor, which is a different neighbor, and this lady's name was Rebecca Greensmith. And the accusations began to spill all around. Rebecca was testified in court, Rebecca testified in court that she met with her husband and 7 other women in the woods, and they would do dancing and chanting and all that.
Which is, of course, all stuff that witches
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
So
they were doing the Charleston. I saw them.
So amongst the Rebecca and her husband, Ayers was there, or supposed to be there, and Mary Sanford and Elizabeth Seeger were in
Bob
the woods
Seeger's
with them.
wife.
Yeah. And of course, the neighbors said that they saw them dancing in the woods too. Like, oh yeah, I seen them out there. They were totally doing that.
I seen it.
I seen them. They were out there cooking their night concoctions.
Making their
seen them.
chair salves.
I've never seen a flicker show, but I've seen them out there dancing. So 2 suspects were subjected to the swim test, which we went over last episode. Last week, yep. And
Which is bullshit.
Yeah, that was the one
Just
where
like the rest
if
of them.
you sank, you were not guilty, but you still had a good possibility of dying.
Mm-hmm.
But if you floated, the water rejected you, so you were a witch, so then you got to die anyways.
Yeah.
So congratulations. You're fucked. Rebecca and her husband were both hanged, as was Mary Sanford. And Ayers ran away from Hartford, so she got away. She's like, fuck this, I'm out, I didn't do nothing wrong, these people are nuts.
Yep.
See you later. Seeger was convicted of witchcraft in 1665, but the verdict was reversed. So she got off.
Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they handle all of these trials, the way that they killed these people, in Europe it was beheading and fires. Mainly fire. In America,
They were hanging.
they were hanging people.
Yes, that was the big one, and we're going to hear hanging a lot when it comes to Salem.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
I wonder why they chose hanging here and not beheading. Did they think it would be more humane, or it was just a popular execution style?
It was that Puritan lifestyle.
Because in Europe, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if they chose it because hanging is much more quote unquote humane to the criminal, because they make it like criminals around that time were stockaded in America still, but all the deaths, there was no firing squads or nothing like that, right? Because they didn't have, like they didn't have that kind of they didn't have
like them.
So hanging to me is just how would you put that? It's just a byproduct of what the American judicial system already had in place, and maybe that's why they chose to hang them instead of burning them the most. But you think with all of this shit, burning them, beheading them, hanging them, doing all this stuff, the sinking, the all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't burning be the best way to get rid of a witch because you would burn whatever evil's inside?
That's what, and that's what I was thinking when they were burning them in Europe when I was reading it. Like, are they trying to burn the evil out? Because, you read so much of that.
Because fire is supposed to be cleansing, right?
Right. You read a lot of that when I was reading, like, on demonology and...
Like, cutting the head off of somebody, to me, it was like, in Europe, they probably could have thought of it as something like, oh, we're killing the head of the Hydra. It's like, you're getting rid of the thought process, the cognitive ability to express, a belief in the demon or the possession of one. Burning it cleanses it, and then, but in here they're just like, fucking hang them. It's like, it's just kind of weird how Americans did that. And like I said, I think it's more of a byproduct of the execution style at the time.
Right.
For the criminal justice
That's what
system.
I was thinking too, because it doesn't say specifically, and forgive me if I couldn't find it. It doesn't say specifically.
I don't forgive you.
I'll be in the corner. I quit. It doesn't say specifically why they were hanged. I just know that we're going to use that word a lot.
Nick, can you look that up for me? That'd be awesome.
And then Mary Barnes of Farmington, Connecticut, was also executed for being a witch. And
hanged?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connecticut held its final witch trial in 1697 at 46 prosecutions with an 11 deaths for Connecticut.
Does it say why they stopped him?
Because they just stopped them.
The fad died out,
Yeah,
huh?
the fad died out. That's exactly, in spoiler alert, that's exactly what happens in Salem. It's like, oh, I guess we're done with this, so let's move on to something else.
Yeah, just like some groupie, like, I'm still a witch, guys, and everyone's like turn their backs, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. Nobody cares.
So from what I found here, and I just Google search why were witches in America hung. It actually looks like witch trials did often result in burning of the bodies after the hanging.
Oh, so they were hung and then they were
so
burned.
yeah, I think it was just more of a. I mean,
See,
in
the
thinking
ones
like
that
American
I read-
history, we've never really had that much of a, brutal way of killing somebody.
Yeah, the Greeks
for
started
crime.
a lot of it.
Electric chair, poison injection, that type
Right.
of stuff. But
And some of the ones in Salem is when they hanged them, they buried them near the church because they weren't allowed to be buried with their families, but their families would go dig up their body and then move them to their land.
All right, quick question, round table here.
Round table?
Hanged or burned?
Oh,
You have to be one alive.
Hanged.
Hanged? What about you?
I'm scared of being burned. I think I was one of these girls because I'm fucking terrified of being burned.
Really?
I mean, I kind of like fire,
Fire.
but I don't know if
Burn him.
I don't know if, I don't know. I just picture myself standing up there with a noose around my neck, knowing that floor is going to drop below me any second, and that anticipation just scares the crap out of me. At least if you're on
burning
fire, just stop, drop, and roll.
I don't think you
Not
get
when
to
you're tied to a
stop.
stake,
No,
dude.
No, sir.
There's a chance it might start raining.
I would rather be drowned.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd rather be
Well,
drowned.
that wasn't one of your...
I have a bad fear of drowning.
See, I don't.
Yeah, I would take fire over drowning any day.
But
I would drown.
Between the two,
Dump me under the water. Let's do this.
between the two, it'd probably be hanging.
Guilt.
I'd probably have to go with burn. Just burn me.
Hanging because, from what I understand, is you don't die specifically from breaking your neck.
Nope. And
But
there's
I
been
would
studies
because I'm a
on
little
that
heavier.
now.
Right.
They didn't do that studies back then, obviously.
Right. They didn't do very many studies back then because they thought people were witches.
Yeah.
Continuing.
All right, so let's head on over to Salem.
Do 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 do.
Get your bags, get your horse and carriage.
Get your ropes and nooses and
Yep.
and your fire burning sticks.
Bring your pointing fingers.
They're foam fingers that are like they sell on
the
that
big
show.
giant foam. Witch, burn 'em. So this one has.
She's a witch girl.
This took place February 1692 to March 1693. So
Right.
just this whole ordeal of god-awful insaneness took over just a year.
Those bitches.
We had 20 executions.
Yeah.
14 were female.
Of course. Oh. Never mind. Go ahead.
There
Sorry.
was 14 hangings. One male was not hanged. We'll go into him. And then some people just died in jail,
So
awaiting their trial.
Europe had men, women, and kids.
Mm.
America had mostly women.
Mostly women, one man. That's in the Salem. There's more outside
In
of
the
it.
Salem.
In the Salem. and then some small children. So it took place in Salem Village, which is now Danvers, but it included Salem Town, Ipswich, and Andover. And so they kind of lumped them all together. And
all I can think about is Fallout 4 at this point. That's all I can think about.
Oh, the mission at
Yeah.
the Salem Witch Museum.
The Ipswich
That was like
mission.
one of my favorite
Oh man, the
missions.
Death Claw. Sorry, you guys have no idea what we're talking about.
The Death
No,
Claw.
did you play? You didn't play Fallout, did you?
No.
That was like the toughest Death Claw to face,
God,
for sure.
I hate Death Claws.
All right, so let's get into
Burn them.
these these little bitches. Oh my God, these girls. And you just know they were fucking bitches. So,
God.
oh no, these are the little accuser girls. So, February 1692, we have Betty Paris, who's age 9, and Abigail Williams, who's age 11. And they are the daughter and the niece of the Reverend Samuel Paris. These little bitches started having fits of rage and making strange sounds and a fuss and everything.
Right.
They threw things, they contorted their bodies in odd positions. Doctors could not find anything wrong with them.
I put the
And-
leeches on him, nothing's happening.
Yeah, yeah. Then the other women began exhibiting the same strange behaviors, so everybody wanted to follow in their footsteps. And then, let's see, then the arrest started happening because then the accusations started happening. So we have a couple of ladies here that got arrested. Sarah Good.
Goode.
Yep.
Okay.
Sarah Osborne. And Tituba. And it's Tituba.
Kind of like
Tituba.
tibula.
Yeah. But no. They were the first in the town to get fingers pointed at.
Right.
So they were
The foam finger.
arrested for allegedly afflicting Betty Paris, Abigail Williams, Anna Putnam Jr., Elizabeth Hubbard,
Putnam.
Elizabeth Hubbard, and Mercy Lewis. Those were the 5 little bitches. I don't like these girls. Oh.
Probably a lot of people that probably didn't.
Well, no, they did like them. That was
Oh.
a thing. So it's noted the accusation by Ann. Did you say Putnam?
I say Putnam.
Putnam. Okay, Ann
What is
Putnam.
it?
Putnam.
That's Putnam.
Mm-hmm.
Putnam. Ann Putnam Jr. suggests that it's a possible accusation that this whole Salem witch trial may have started because of a family
Excuse me.
feud between the Putnam and the Porter families.
Fucking family rivals. Get your tree out of my yard.
Yeah, it was
I'm gonna
actually
hang
it
your
was
daughter.
over land, and this family rivalry
Rivalry.
was known around town.
Nelly turned into a dinosaur. Vinny,
barely.
what kind of dinosaur is that?
Sarah Good was one of the accused, and she was a homeless beggar. She had an appalling reputation, which is why she was basically accused of witchcraft. During her trial, she was accused of rejecting the Puritan lifestyle and the Puritan way, and she was pregnant, but she gave birth. But unfortunately, the baby died while she was in jail, not because of anything. It was like natural
Right.
causes, but I think they said that
Not
she
diphtheria.
killed her. It was not diphtheria.
Or strangling.
No strangulation. And she was hanged for being a witch.
Right.
Sarah Osborne was accused because the Puritans believed that she didn't attend church on the regular. So, obviously you're a witch because you don't go. And she had her own self-interest at heart.
If that was the case, 90% of the fucking population would be
Well,
burned.
this is like a huge church community.
Right.
And if you're not Puritan, you ain't shit. She got remarried to an indentured servant and then tried to control her son's inheritance from a previous marriage. And she actually died in 1692 in jail. So
Wow.
she was not actually ever accused. She was just she was accused, but she was not actually ever committed for being a witch.
Okay.
Tituba was a South American Indian slave. She was very well known. There's a lot of folklore and things about this woman. You could actually do probably a whole episode on Tituba, which we might. Stay tuned. She was from the West Indies. She
Part
was most
28.
likely a target because of her different ethnicity. Obviously, she was not white, so she was obviously point your finger. 'Cause
There's a lot of fucking racist assholes back
yeah.
then.
Just like today.
especially
Yeah.
in this small town that some of these little surrounding areas were, smaller, so
Right.
it's like, what's she doing here? So she was said to sway the minds of men, attack girls, and tell fortunes. She actually survived the trials and was released, but her whereabouts were unknown after that.
So how did she survive the trial? Which trial did they give her?
I don't
Does
know.
it say?
I don't know.
I wonder if they gave her like the water one or.
It's, have you ever seen the show Salem? She was actually one of the
Part of it.
Yeah, she was.
We watch a
actually
lot on
known
Netflix.
I think everybody
We
watches
have
on
no
Netflix.
life. The women were left to defend themselves. They got no representation in court. And it just, when I say trial, it doesn't necessarily mean like the water thing. It also means court trials too. So
Right.
forgive me if I get confusing on that, because it was confusing for me too to have to jump back and forth. So they were left to defend themselves, and they were considered outcasts, of course. They were interrogated for several days and then sent to jail, and that was around March 1st, 1692.
Wow.
So they got rounded up, and things started going bad. Not good.
But no
for them.
patriarchy really started this time though. This was more about
This is about little girls pointing fingers.
So it was more of a mob mentality again, but
Yeah.
without somebody in a religious sense. I mean, yes, the Puritan thing was there, but there was no like bishop or.
There was a man, which I didn't include a whole lot of him because it was just all over the place, but there was a man named Cotton. Yeah, Cotton Mathers. And he was
That's
like...
a cool fucking name.
Yeah.
That's a cool fucking
He
name.
was
Mathers.
like the... he was like a priest or something. I can't remember. He was like a priest or something, and he was like a big finger pointer. So yes, he had the religious parts.
But
of
he
this.
wasn't. He wasn't like these bishops and these abbots that would.
He was a minister of Boston's North Church. That's what it was.
his.
So he was sent...
Like the stock
he
footage
was
actor
sent
they got for
there
that picture.
to go help them with these trials. So yes, there was the church involved. Absolutely.
You gotta imagine like a lot of these women too, because we have much more food nowadays, and people are a lot larger. So you gotta imagine like people. Oh man, that page. Okay, so if you go to the Wikipedia page before I start that, you look up Cotton Mather. He looks
Like his wig.
his wig is the shit.
He didn't live very long. 1663 to 1728.
That's 65 years.
Yeah.
I guess for back then, that's
That's
kinda
what I'm saying.
old.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's
a
like
lot-
a record for
Yeah.
back then.
You win.
What do I win? Death. A lot of these women were much shorter and smaller back then, so I can't imagine a lot of them didn't float.
Yeah,
You know what I
would
mean?
Assume, yeah.
So a lot of them were probably
Just drowned.
just drowned.
Another person that was accused. We'll get into some of these ladies here because this is where it gets all screwy. Martha
Screwy
Corey,
squirrel.
Mercy Lewis, and Ann Putnam Jr. accused. Now I'm going to say it wrong. Putnam Jr. accused Martha. She was faithful. She was a faithful person to the church and did not believe in warlocks or witches. At her trial, the girls began to mimic her movements like she was controlling them. So she would tilt her head, and they would tilt their head.
Oh my god.
She would,
That's
if
clever.
she moved her hands, they would move their hands, so they would be like
Being
puppet.
puppeteers.
Yeah, exactly. Mercy told the court. She exclaimed, "There's a man!" He whispered in her ear, and she was asked if that man was Satan. So yeah.
So okay, that's another thing. So for the skeptic back then, again, if you say you don't believe in that stuff, though,
you were
you're
still put
gonna
on
be.
trial. Absolutely.
It didn't matter what you did.
Nope. You were damned if you do, damned if you don't.
God.
So Ann Putnam Jr.
Right.
said she had a yellow bird sucking on her hand, and then Martha was found guilty.
Like a
and
canary?
I don't. It was something to do with Satan, because that was the part that sealed the deals. After the girls said those words, Martha was found guilty, and she was hanged on September 22nd, 1962, at the age of 72 years old.
That's old.
And her husband, he tried to get her out of court, and he refused to. He refused his own trial because he was also put up for being a witch, because he did not want to have his own trial because he didn't want his estate to be confiscated from his heirs.
Oh, okay.
And if he had a trial, there's a good chance that his kids wouldn't get any of their money or their land, which, would suck. So he was executed by oppressing. And this sucks right here. He was executed 3 days before Martha was. So what oppressing is where they lay you down and they put stones on you and they crush you under them.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you meant like oppression.
Oppressing.
He was killed by being ridiculed to death.
No, it's oppressing. And when they asked him, do you confess? He said, just put on another stone.
Yep. Fuck you.
Yep. So
that's ballsy.
Awesome. And he was in his 70s as well. So he was
You
up
fucking
there.
go ahead and do it, motherfucker.
Yeah, I could just hear him like, no, fuck off.
Pump the brakes, kid. That man's a national treasure.
And then we have Dorothy Good, who was a child of Sarah Good. The girls accused her of biting. She was 4 years old. She was sent to jail at the age of 5, and she was released on bond on December 10th of 1692 and was never tried or indicted.
Wow.
Yeah, so she got off. Good girl.
Crushed to death or drowning? Go.
Oh, crushed to death.
Drowning.
Crushed.
No, just fill those lungs up with water and let me go. I do not want to be crushed to death.
Like a balloon.
Rebecca Nurse. Now, this one here is the one that sparked the debate of apologies after the Salem witch trials. She was, once again, not allowed to have a lawyer.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, she was a very respected member of the community, and people could not believe that she was being put on trial for being
That is
a witch.
fucking bizarre.
But they couldn't necessarily do anything about it, but they did try to sign up petitions, but it fell through. So the girls would break out in fits saying that Rebecca was tormenting them. Like I said, she was well respected in the community, and the jury originally ruled not guilty, but then the girls renewed their fits and basically worked over the judge, and the judge reviewed the case again with the jury. The jury then asked the nurse to explain her remark that the deliverance of Hobbs was of her company, and that there was an implication that they signed a pact with the devil. Unfortunately for Nurse, she was hard of hearing and didn't hear the question all the way. And she later explained that to her children that she was referring to this woman as a fellow accused witch.
Right.
Basically, she hung herself because what she said because she didn't understand the question. The jury then changed their mind and changed the sentencing to death by hanging of July 19th, 1692.
July 19th, 1692? So, another question I have is, was there anybody out there in that time that would just go, yeah, I'm a witch. What the fuck you gonna do about it?
I'm sure there was.
Like, just people just going, yeah, so what? What are you gonna do? Do something.
Yeah, I bet there was.
Or I wonder if there's people out there that went, yeah, I'm a witch, and I'm gonna curse your ass if you if you mess with me.
Oh, you know
so
there
don't
was.
you be coming knocking on my door.
I hope there were at least some people that were like, all right, I could be an asshole, but I don't really want to get cursed, so I'm just going to stay out of this shit.
Yeah. Like that, I mean, to me, it would just make more sense to just move the fuck. I mean, I know that they couldn't just move away, but if it were me and I saw this shit going on, the way I am now, like, I would have looked at all of it and been like, fuck this. This is ridiculous.
I'm sure there was plenty of people that were like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? Come on, make some potions and shove up your ass. I'll get my flying chair out.
My ass potions.
Get the salve.
Rachel Clinton, she was accused because her husband did not provide for her, and as was the way back then that the husband would provide. So she was accused because she was supposed to get an inheritance from her late father's estate, but she didn't receive it for some reason because there was bickering amongst the family. And then when she tried to divorce her husband because he wasn't providing for her, she actually was having an affair, so she got put in jail for that.
As she should. No.
So then people began to accuse her of being a witch when a neighbor died as they walked past her. So people said that some guy
Just
died.
fucking tripped on a rock and split his head open.
I'm like, what do you have?
Fucking
a heart
witch.
attack?
Fucking witch did it.
So
Fucking
some more women actually accused her of elbowing them, right in the chest, and that would make them hunched over.
That would make anybody hunch over.
Yeah.
Duh.
But
Like, ow.
whether or not she did it is not you know, they could have been lying about that. Oh, and then she was also a shapeshifter. So she had some sweet spells. She actually survived the trials and was not convicted, but then she actually ended up dying in 1694.
From what?
Oh, just natural causes.
She turned into a dog and got hit by a car.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They had cars back then.
16, a carriage.
It was a Corvette. It was cruising down the street and it got her. It was in 94. Mary Easterly, Rebecca's nurse's sister. She was also a respected citizen, and during her trial examination, the girls accused her of trying to break their necks. So she put her head down, like, not in shame, but like probably out of exhaustion is what that's how I kind of read it.
Yeah.
And the girls made movements like they were breaking her, like she was breaking their necks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. These little fucking bitches.
Natalie's so mad.
Oh, I am mad. Oh, that's who I want to go back in time and slap.
Natalie, it's in the past. Let it go.
I know. I know. I think I was there though. I swear.
I think I was there.
She was released on May 18th, so she got out. But then only on May 20th, old Mercy Lewis, back at it again, claimed that Mary Spector was affecting her.
This Mercy Lewis is a real twat.
She is a bitch. She was arrested again and then hanged on September 22nd, 1692. So she got out for 2 days. Mercy Lewis is like, no, she's after me.
Can you imagine that being tried twice in a week?
Yeah, they actually
you're like, fuck it, you go home. You go to bed.
That's exactly what happened. She was in bed and they came in and arrested her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Called it.
Yeah.
7.
Damn, that's weird.
But can you imagine
You
that,
were there.
getting out and then being like, fuck.
Yay.
You go to bed, you wake up, you have a piece of bread, some soup, maybe.
Little salve.
And then you go to bed again that night.
Rub a little
and
salve
you're like,
on you.
put
Or
your hands
she's
behind your
like,
head.
fuck yeah, I got away with it.
Yeah.
Would have got away with it.
And all of a sudden,
No!
freeze! Lynch mob police.
Yeah, pretty much.
The witch police. These are the stories.
Rebecca Nurse's other sister, Sarah.
Names have been changed.
Sarah Cloyce, Coyce. She was also a fine citizen of the community, and she was accursed the day after the trial because she was defending Rebecca, and she got accused because she walked out of church and slammed the door. So she was a witch. She was arrested a few days after she did that because
Son of a
obviously, and she supposedly afflicted Abigail Williams. She waited in jail, and on December 1692, she was marked as we don't know. So they let her go. They couldn't make a decision.
Inconclusive.
Yeah, they couldn't make a decision. So
We
they're
did the
like,
piss test. We did the hair follicle test, the blood test, the weighing against the Bible, the weighing against
got
the Satanic
nothing.
Bible. We did everything we could.
She
So
kept
on-
floating and she'd come back up and she'd sink and she'd come back up and she'd sink.
It was crazy. There's just no science here. So I guess go ahead and go.
So on January 3rd, 1693, she was dismissed of all charges. So good for her. She got to go.
Here's another question. Mm-hmm. If you're a witch and you have all these powers and you have these abilities, why wouldn't they say, show us? Like, just show us what you can do.
They did.
If your broomstick
They did.
works.
But then these girls were working them over so much.
It's like, it's bullshit.
No, that's what these girls were for, is these Mercy, Abigail, and the other little bitch.
Natalie's 5
Betty,
bitches.
Betty, Ann, Abigail, Elizabeth, and Mercy. That's what these girls were.
Mercy didn't have
They
any mercy.
said that they were basically being tormented by these women. So they didn't want any other proof.
Wow.
So...
Mercy's a real thunder cunt.
Oh, they sure are. So,
Son of a
more than
bitch.
200 people were accused in Salem, with 20 people executed, like I said, 19 hangings, and one by getting pressings of the stones. It was the husband.
That badass.
Yeah.
That's not him. It's not his
Yeah.
name, the husband. No, he's the badass.
So, following the trials and the executions, many people publicly confessed in error and guilt of the accused. So people were like, "Oh, sorry, we made mistakes. My bad."
I'm sorry.
So mistakes were made,
Yeah.
but we're okay. So
Yeah.
No hard feelings, bro.
So in 1702, the court declared the trials unlawful. And in 1711, the colony passed a bill to restore the rights of the people's names that were accursed. But not everybody got their name restored. I did read that.
How'd you like to be that guy?
And I think there was...
Fuck me.
God, was it 11
Can't catch a
families?
break.
Son of a bitch.
Carriage wheel falls off. My name doesn't get fucking put back on the list.
And in 1957...
My son's got diphtheria.
How many years later is this? 1957. Massachusetts gave a formal apology. 1957. Are you kidding me?
Who was it by? Was it by the mayor?
I don't know. I would assume so.
Like they just start naming names off the list. They just start at the A's. They just work 3 days later. They just work
It's
their
not
way
bad.
down.
What a bunch of assholes.
Sorry about that.
They have the Rebecca Nurse. Her family did a memorial for her in 1885 because they're the ones that actually went and dug her body up and then moved her to the farmland. So we don't know where she's buried. Just her family does. So she doesn't have like a marked grave specifically. And
to the families of those deceased, we're
sorry.
We're giving you free tickets to the Fenway Park.
Do you forgive us? Do you forgive us?
Go ahead and see the Red Sox
And
play.
have yourself a
Sorry.
Boston cream pie.
Only half off.
So
They didn't even give him a free one.
as far as the girls go, Abigail Williams, there's no solid records of what happened after the trials. There was a theory that she went on a boat with Mercy Lewis to Boston because Mercy Lewis went to go live with her aunt, and Abigail became a prostitute, but that's not set in stone. That's just a theory. Betty Paris never retracted her statements or accusations.
So she died a bitch.
Yeah. She got married, had 4 children, and died in 1760.
Good.
Ann Putnam publicly apologized.
Putnam.
God damn it. Putnam. Fuck her. She apologized. You know what? No, she apologized.
She did?
For her part in the trials publicly, and became ill and died in 1716. So she didn't live long after these were done.
Good for her.
Elizabeth Hubbard. After the trial,
Beth.
her whereabouts were unknown. Somebody wrote that she possibly had a name change, got married, and had 4 children. But it's not set in stone on that one either. So, medical theories for the witch trials. Kind of went over this a couple episodes ago when we were talking about things. For the mass hysteria, the response could have been from Indian attacks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And another one is, I'm going to say this wrong.
Putnam.
Convulsive ergotism.
ER or AR?
ER.
Ergotism.
Convulsive ergotism.
Yeah.
Caused by eating rye bread made of grain infected by
Yep.
the fungus. This is where we're going to say it wrong. Claviceps.
So that
LSD.
LSD is seriously like
Yeah, that's what it said here.
hippies would
Right.
make LSD out of rye bread mold.
there was a case of rye bread mold that had a bacteria on it, though, where it ate the man's eyes.
Oh, gross.
It went to his blood vessels, and you have a lot of blood vessels in your eyes, really small ones, and that's where the bacteria traveled, and it ate his eyes off, and parts of his nose too on the top.
Shitty.
Yeah, but we were talking about bread the last time, or was it this time we were talking about bread? I can't remember. Which one were we talking about bread?
I think it was last week because we were talking about the
Says-
Golden Corral.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's been so long. I don't know.
I was gonna say, bread, although good for you, has carbs, and it may eat your eyes, and it also may lead you to.
I mean, that guy can't see himself eating it again.
Oh, come on, man.
They also thought it may have been from an epidemic of bird-borne
H1Z1.
Bird flu.
encephalitis lethargica. Oh, I think that's right. Encephalitis lethargica.
You're so proud.
I read a word.
Putnam. That's Putnam.
Putnam. And then sleep paralysis could have been from the accusers, and then that's why they think they were getting attacked.
Have you, real quick, have you guys ever had sleep paralysis?
I don't know.
I have.
I've been reading an awful lot about it lately, though, and I'm like, ooh.
It is frightening.
Have you?
No, I have night terrors. But
Yeah, he.
Really?
Yeah, when
Wow.
he was
Ah!
real quick when he was trying to quit
Just a baby.
smoking, he started taking. No, it wasn't when you were
Chantix?
No, it was melatonin.
just
Oh.
to sleep.
Oh God!
I take
he
that.
would get these night terrors, and they would be violent. Like, whoa, you should write those down and make them.
Oh, is that why you have all those black eyes?
I know.
No, like I looked it up too, and I looked up like melatonin and night terrors, and the first thing you see is like a melatonin monster under a bed in a Google image. Yeah,
oh, that makes
apparently
sense then.
I'm
That
not the
makes
only
sense.
one.
Mr. Melatonin.
So there's also people that don't believe it was anything biological, and they just think, which is me, that it was done because these little bitches were jealous, spiteful, and needed attention.
And fuck them.
Yeah, that's probably the side I'm on, little bitches. So, anyway, after the Salem witch trials in the 18th century, the witch trials started to wind down a lot. Beliefs changed, technology changed. You know, the world is becoming a different place.
Science and technology
All right.
in the 20th century.
New acts against the accursed were put in place, such as some places had no more burnings.
Right.
And then in Tanzania, 2005 to 2011, more than 3,000 people have been killed by
See?
lynch mobs for allegedly
See?
being witches.
Yep. And it still goes on today.
Yes, it
And
still goes on today. We just hear about it on a different social media level now, so you can give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Hopefully
And-
a thumbs down.
One like equals one prayer.
Yeah. So that is the witch trials. There's so much more information. Like I said, I didn't even get in a fraction of it because, like,
There's a lot.
There's a lot. You
Oh,
can drag
somebody
this
could
out.
could host an actual podcast where
Of just
all they did was
yeah.
that.
Oh my
like,
God. And we'll do. And I definitely want to go back. In the future sometime. I get it now. No, I want to do in the future sometime.
Features. Marty, we gotta go back to 1985.
Some of the older ones,
Doc,
like,
come on.
ancient
It's
Rome,
heavy.
ancient Egypt. I would love to research what their druids and shamans and witches were. So I think that's for another time. We'll close the chapter on this one for now, though.
I think the worst part about this is the needless
Violence.
fucking
It's
violence
stupid.
against humanity when it comes to no evidence whatsoever.
They did also, real quick,
Real quick.
they are doing financial amends to the families that were accused too. So
That's
they
good.
did try to make
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's not going to bring back your
No.
beloved grandma of 72 that had nothing to do with any of this but was murdered anyways, but
Yeah.
or your child. But, at least they're trying. I would love to go to Salem someday though.
Nick, you said you've been to Salem.
Yes.
Yeah, Salem is actually despite what went on there back in the 1600s, it's actually a really beautiful town. I mean, if I remember correctly, it's kind of right along the coastline, and there's just a really creepy vibe there. I mean, I remember. I mean, we were there during a weekday, and I was there with my family, and just you don't see people walking out in the streets.
Really?
We ate at a restaurant, and they still have the witch house standing there, and that's really the only thing that they still have standing from the Salem
It's like a
witch
museum
trials.
now.
Yeah, so they
go.
converted it to a museum, but they have, I think there's like 2 or 3 different witch trial museums. We didn't do that one. I think it was closed the day that we were there. But yeah, it's just it's a really creepy, just really creepy vibe in
Yeah.
the whole town, no matter where.
And it's not kitschy like, Niagara Falls or something like that, right? It's not like
No,
they sell
I
witch
don't-
dolls and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a huge tourist attraction. I mean, we were there during the summer, and I mean, like I said, I don't remember seeing anybody walking around out in the town.
That's gotta be eerie as
everybody
fuck.
was
I
just
want to
indoors.
go. Send us there,
I
viewers.
wanna go.
We can do an episode
Yeah,
from there.
it was awesome. It's really cool.
That's-
the witch museum
That's,
and everything like that, and just seeing those historical sites.
On that note, that's Patreon /DLUTV.
Nice,
We'd love
nice
to do an
plug,
episode
Vinny.
from there. That'd be a dream.
And if anybody's from Salem, you can look us up at where, Vinny?
We're going to be on Facebook right now at just search "Don't Look Under the Bed" podcast.
Be our friend.
Catch our our Twitter page. It's Twitter and then at
Tweet.
DLT or DLUTV.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Don't Look Under the Bed podcast at gmail.com. Just a bunch of different ways that you can get a hold of us. I will probably post Dan's personal phone number.
Please do.
Hello, ladies.
Is you a witch?
I likes to burn them.
Oh.
But the sleep paralysis thing, though, I have had that.
I don't
And it
know
was
if I have.
fucking frightening. When I was living in Cincinnati, I woke up one night, and I used to work overnights. So I woke up at like 10 o'clock. I didn't have to work that night, but I just, you work overnights. It's just when you wake up. So I woke up, and I couldn't move my arms. I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't move my toes or my fingers. All I could move was my eyes. That was it.
I don't like that.
And
No,
I felt like somebody was holding me down, like with a huge piece of wood, like
It
a
was the
plank.
man.
And there was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure, though.
Ain't never gonna hold me down. I know. You're really trying to open your heart.
But it felt like somebody was trying to keep me from moving, and I
You gotta
didn't.
keep on moving.
Okay, that's it.
I stayed up all night once just to see if I get sleep paralysis. It never happened.
But you got to go to sleep first,
Oh.
though.
Oh, you knew you were doing it wrong.
But it was frightening because I couldn't move for a good 10 minutes. I didn't know how to get the fuck out of bed, and I had to pee.
That
There's
sucks.
there's like a documentary about it on Netflix where they actually they interview people who suffer from it and they like reenact it. Absolutely terrifying.
Yep.
Like
Oh.
I couldn't
Try living it.
imagine.
Fuck that.
I couldn't imagine it. Like people talking about like seeing just a shadowy figure standing over them, or
Yeah.
hearing like dark voices or like demonic voices talking to them, and all you can do is move your eyes.
Well, I hear those anyway, so.
Listeners, if any of you have had any experiences like that, you want to share them with us, maybe get us to read them for everybody. It's Don't Look Under the Bed podcast at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to hear from you.
Yeah, and thanks, Natalie, for doing all that research. Yay!
Yeah. Thank you, Natalie.
Sorry I can't pronounce words right.
It's Putnam.
I
You stupid bitch.
try. I'm so tired.
Get back upstairs and do more research.
Yes, sir.
But that was the Don't Look Under the Bed podcast for this week, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for checking us
And
out.
Thank you.
I'm one of your gracious hosts, Dan Wonder. Next to me is,
Natalie Rose.
and next to her,
Vinny Rose.
and the guy that came 3 times in a row to the podcast.
This guy.
Nick-
Hopefully,
Myers.
hopefully you'll be back. We're gonna have him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right.
That's Vinny's call.
Yeah, he's like our Robin from the
Come
Howard
on,
Stern
guys.
I thought you were talking about Batman.
I thought you were talking about Batman too. I'm like, yeah, he's kind of like Robin.
Well, you are
Like,
wearing a Batman shirt, so.
show. A Batman.
Or is that just a big stain?
It's a big stain.
It's mustard.
It's mustard.
Every time I eat SpaghettiOs.
Pasta licca. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to this week's
Bye.
podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.